Let's talk about the Roman Republic and Marcus Licinius Crassus. Crassus was born in 150 BC in Rome, Italy, and was considered to be the richest man in Rome. He started his career as a commander in Lucius Cornelius Sulla's army, and later became so rich because he would buy burning properties and sell them for a much higher price after rebuilding them. He also had his personal firefighters, and they only put out the fire once the owner sold his home to Crassus. He defeated the rebel Spartacus and his army, and crucified all survivors along the Pompeian Way, which was the road that connected Rome to Brindisi. However, some of Spartacus' men escaped and were rounded up and killed by Gnaeus, Pompeius Magnus, also known as Pompey the Great, who then gained the glory for stopping Spartacus. That is why Crassus didn't like him. Both became Rome consuls after that. Crassus supported Gaius Julius Caesar financially, and later he, Caesar, and Pompey became the first triumvirate. The three men dominated Roman politics. The alliance was re-established at the Lucca Conference in 56 BC. After that, Crassus and Pompey became consuls again. It was then that Crassus was appointed as the governor of Syria. As governor, he wanted to gain military glory in defeating the Parthian Empire. At first, Crassus had success in the campaign, but his scouts reported a massive Parthian army coming their way, and that they were mostly cavalry forces. In order to prevent getting flanked, Crassus came up with a crazy strategy. He formed his men up in a square formation to be protected from all sides. Yet that was a huge mistake. The Parthians had a lot of horse archers. They rode around the Roman square and kept harassing them with arrows for hours and hours. They didn't run out of arrows because they had camels that were filled with arrows in case the soldiers ran out. Crassus ordered the whole square forward, but it was no good. So he ordered his son Publius to take the cavalry and one legion and charge the Parthians, but it didn't work. Publius followed the fleeing Parthians while being showered with arrows. His group got surrounded and killed. The Parthians put Publius' head on a spear and mocked the Romans and Crassus, who were all still in that square formation. Publius' death demoralized Crassus and his men. Eventually, one section of the Romans had enough and tried to charge at the Parthians, but they got surrounded and killed. The sun went down and the Parthians left. They had rules that prohibited them from fighting at night. The surviving Romans left to retreat to Carrhae. The wounded men were left behind and later killed by the Parthians on the next morning. The Romans started with 43,000 men, 2,000 were killed and 1,000 were captured. The Parthians had 10,000 cavalry, of which 9,000 were horse archers. The Parthian army made it to Carrhae and demanded Crassus. His legionaries dragged him out of the city and accompanied him outside. The Parthians started humiliating Crassus by forcing him on a horse with a very expensive golden bridle. When Crassus got on the horse, the Parthian that had hold of it smacked it until the horse went mad. The Roman soldiers stepped in. There was a small engagement between the Romans and Parthians. At the end of this engagement, Crassus lay on the floor. A Parthian soldier came up to him, cut off his hand and then his head. It is said that the Parthians melted down gold and poured it down Crassus' severed head. The Battle of Carrhae was one of Rome's greatest defeats. The triumvirate was now only consisting of two men, Caesar and Pompey. Eventually they became rivals and fought a civil war against each other. The Roman prisoners were later returned thanks to Emperor Augustus Caesar.